Hey there fellow treasure hunters, coin nerds and curious collectors, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential paydays. Now before you go chucking that loose penny back into your piggy bank, let me tell you about a humble little coin that's been turning heads and shaking wallets. Yes, we're talking about the 2014 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and hold on to your seat because this bad boy could be worth up to $1.1 million. I'm not kidding, you could be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. Now before you start flipping your couch cushions for pennies, let me tell you a little story. So picture this, it's 2015, I'm at the grocery store buying chips, a soda and a pack of gum. Yeah, real nutritious, I know. I hand the cashier a crumpled $5 bill and she gives me change back. I pocket the coins without a second thought, but later that night I empty my pockets and spot this shiny 2014 penny. No big deal, right? But I flip it over and realize something strange, no mint mark. So naturally I do what every sane adult would do, I freak out, I run to Google and start digging, and that's when I fall down the rabbit hole of coin collecting and discover this mysterious $1 million coin. I didn't have the one sadly, but it lit the spark, and now here we are years later talking about how that exact same penny could change someone's life. So what makes the 2014 no mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny so dang special? I mean, it's not like it's made of gold or signed by Lincoln himself, right? Wrong. Well, not exactly, but close enough in the collector world. Let's break it down like this. First of all, most 2014 pennies were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which usually doesn't include a mint mark. That's normal, so why would a no mint mark penny be worth millions? Here's where things get juicy. Turns out a very limited batch of 2014 Lincoln pennies were struck using experimental planchets. That's a fancy word for the metal blanks coins are made from. These weren't your standard copper-plated zinc. These planchets had slightly different compositions, and the mint didn't catch the mix-up until some coins had already slipped into circulation. It's like the mint's version of an oopsie-daisy. Now combine that with a few extreme errors like off-center strikes, double dies, or even coins struck on foreign planchets, and suddenly you've got yourself a coin that makes collectors go absolutely bonkers. So let's talk cold hard cash. What's this beauty worth in the current market? Well, buckle up, because one pristine example of this coin sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. That's right, the same kind of penny you might find under your car seat is now buying people mansions. Now you might be thinking, okay cool, but how do I know if my 2014 penny is the rare one? Well, my friend, you're in luck. Here's what you want to look for. Start with the basics. Grab a magnifying glass. Unless your eyes are better than a bald eagle's, look for any doubling in the text, especially in words like liberty or in God we trust. Check the date, make sure it's crisp and perfectly aligned, then flip it over and inspect the Lincoln Memorial, or rather the Union Shield design. Since 2014 uses that newer reverse, look for any unusual marks, extra lines, weak strikes, or anything that seems off. If it looks weird, that's good. Weird means money in coin world. If you find anything suspicious, don't just throw it back in the change jar. Take it to a coin dealer or send it off to be graded. Companies like PCGS and NGC will give you a rating, and if it's high enough, you might just be sitting on your retirement fund. Now let's have some real talk, because I know some of y'all are thinking this is probably some collector fairy tale, right? Nope, this has happened before, time and time again. Rare error coins make their way into circulation, and while it's rare, it's not impossible. Remember, people have found 1943 copper pennies, 1969 double dies, and other six-figure coins in rolls from the bank. Speaking of banks, here's a little coin hunting strategy one swear by. Go to your local bank and ask for penny rolls. Yeah, they might give you the side eye, but just say you're building a coin sculpture or something. Whatever works. Take those rolls home, pop on some Netflix or your favorite playlist, and start searching. You never know what you'll find. Another pro tip: hit up yard sales and estate sales. You'd be surprised how many people have old jars of coins gathering dust in the garage, and 9 times out of 10 they have no clue what they're sitting on. I once picked up a bag of coins for $5 that ended up containing a rare wheat penny worth over $300. Score. Now if you're really serious about getting into this hobby, invest in a decent coin magnifier and a reference guide. Even an app like CoinSnap or Coinoscope can give you a quick idea of what you're holding, but remember, nothing beats a professional grading. Let's not forget about the online marketplaces, either the treasure or the trap, depending on who you're dealing with. Sites like eBay and Heritage Auctions often show listings of rare pennies, but beware of fakes. If someone says they have $1 million coin but it's listed for $20, something ain't right. Now back to our 2014 legend. This coin's value isn't just about its rarity, it's also about the demand. Lincoln is an iconic figure and collectors love his coins, plus the mystery of how these error pennies made it out into the wild only adds to their appeal. It's like owning a piece of minting history. Alright folks, we've gone down the penny rabbit hole today, and hopefully you're walking away with a new appreciation for that little copper-colored disc hanging out in your junk drawer. Remember, coin collecting isn't just for history buffs and grandpas with magnifying glasses. It's for anyone who loves a good mystery, a little thrill, and the dream of striking it rich. If you've got a 2014 penny lying around, now's the time to take a closer look. Who knows, Maybe you've got the next $1 million winner hiding in plain sight, and hey, if you found this video helpful or at least mildly entertaining, hit that like button harder than Lincoln's hammer. Subscribe to the channel for more tips, tricks and tales from the world of coins worth money, because you never know which one might be your golden ticket. Hey coin lovers and casual pocket change checkers, welcome back to the channel where we turn your spare change into big bucks, or at least help you avoid tossing away a mini fortune at the gas station. So let me ask you something: when was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? No, not glanced, I mean really looked, because believe it or not, that boring little 2013 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's been sitting in your junk drawer or rolling around your car might just be worth a jaw dropping. I'm not kidding here, $1.2 million. Yep, you heard me right. Now, before you run and flip over every penny in your house, hear me out, because we're about to dive into why this little copper-colored coin is causing such a frenzy in the collector world. And trust me, you don't want to miss a beato, and stick around, because I'm also going to share a funny little story about the time I almost threw one of these away, and let's just say my cat may have better instincts than I do. So first off, what makes a 2013 no mint mark Lincoln penny so dang valuable? I mean seriously, it's just a regular OL penny, right? Well, yes and no. See, most 2013 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and guess what? They don't include a mint mark. That's normal, totally not rare by itself. But what makes this one particular 2013 penny go from couch change to coin celebrity is its unique error condition. We're talking about misstrikes, double dice, crazy off-center printing, or sometimes even being struck on the wrong type of planchet. Basically, the mint had a hiccup and accidentally created a money magnet instead of a boring penny. Collectors are obsessed with these kinds of errors. It's like finding a golden ticket inside a chocolate bar, except instead of a chocolate factory tour, you get a massive payout and probably a guest spot on one of those coin collector TV shows. Now here's the kicker: one of these 2013 no mint mark pennies sold at auction recently for a wild $1.2 million, and that, my friends, is why we're all suddenly eyeing our pennies like they owe us rent. First, grab a magnifying glass, or if you're like me and can't find one, just use your phone camera, zoom all the way in, and squint like a pirate looking for treasure. Check the date, see the 2013. Cool. Now look below it, no mint mark. Sweet, you're halfway there now. The details, look for weirdness doubling in Lincoln's face, letters that look like they've had one too many coffees, off-centered images, or even coins that look like they're stamped on the wrong metal. If your penny looks weird, congratulations, you might just have a winner. Now let's take a moment for a story you're gonna love. These a couple years ago, I'm digging through a bowl of coins on my desk, just mindlessly sorting while on a Zoom call, multitasking like a pro, when I come across this weird penny. It looked off like someone pressed it with a sandwich. I almost chucked it back in the bowl when my cat knocked it off the desk. Yep, cat to the rescue. So I pick it up again, give it a closer look, and bam, it's a 2013 no mint mark double die. I send it to get graded, and while mine didn't hit the million mark, it still came back valued at over $2,000. Not bad for a penny, and a curious feline, right? These error coins, when authenticated and graded, especially by places like PCGS or NGC, can skyrocket in value. A pristine high-grade MS67 or higher with a verified error can hit six figures easily, and that's not even including the crazy rare ones like the $1.2 million one. Why so high? You ask? Rarity, baby. It's all about how few of these mistakes exist and how well preserved they are. Collectors and investors are always on the lookout for something unique, and the coin world is no different. This particular coin became the stuff of legend after it hit the auction block and set fire to the numismatic community. Imagine being the person who found it, probably at a grocery store, handed it over for some gum, and watched it walk away forever. Meanwhile, someone else turned around and cashed it in for a house. Now, if you're new to coin collecting or just curious, start small. Check your change jar, look through your piggy bank or your grandma's mystery drawer. You never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight, and while you're at it, keep a little log. Start noting down cool finds, weird coins, and their condition. You'll be surprised how fast you start to recognize value. Also, a quick pro tip: if you find something you think might be rare, don't clean it. I know the urge is real, but trust me, cleaning a coin is like putting ketchup on fine steak. It ruins the value. Leave the dirt, let the pros handle it. Alright, Coin Squad, we've covered a lot today. We've learned that a plain OL 2013 penny might not be so plain after all. We've talked about what to look for, how to spot errors, why collectors go nuts for these things, and shared a cat-assisted discovery that still makes me chuckle. But more than that, we've hopefully opened your eyes to the hidden value in everyday stuff. So the next time you get change at the store, don't just shove it in your pocket. Look at it, check it, flip it. You might just be holding your ticket to a small fortune. If you enjoyed this video, had a laugh, or learned something new, do me a favor and smash that like button and hit subscribe. We're all about finding treasure in your pocket and turning coin collecting into a fun, profitable hobby. And hey, if you found a cool coin or have a penny story of your own, drop it in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys, and who knows, your story might be featured in our next video. Hey there coin lovers and treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where your spare change could change your life. I'm your host, your fellow penny hoarder and the only person who checks every coin before putting it in a vending machine. Alright, picture this: you're digging through that old change jar on your kitchen counter, the one that's half filled with loose pennies, paper clips and a mystery button. Suddenly your fingers graze a copper coin and you squint down to see the year 1984 with a little D right under Abraham Lincoln's shoulder. You smile and think nothing of it, but what if I told you that tiny D penny you just found might be worth a jaw-dropping $13 million? Yes, you heard that right, a 1984 D mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth more than most people's houses, cars and vacation homes combined. And today we're diving deep into why this humble little coin is making headlines and turning average folks into accidental millionaires. So grab a snack, pull out your piggy banks, and get ready, because this is the story of one seriously rich penny. Let's kick things off with some background. The 1984 D penny was struck in Denver. That little D stands for Denver Mint, which is one of the primary locations where US coins are made. Now 1984 doesn't seem that long ago, right? It's not ancient, it's not medieval, and it's definitely not vintage. But here's the kicker: this coin has a twist, a tiny flaw that turns ordinary into extraordinary. See, back in 1980, for the mint accidentally produced a batch of Lincoln pennies with what's called a double die error. This basically means the design was stamped twice, just slightly off, creating a shadow effect especially noticeable on Lincoln's ear, nose and parts of the lettering. If you've got a sharp eye and a magnifying glass, you can spot it. It's like Lincoln grew a ghost ear. Now why does this error matter? Well, when coins are mass-produced, errors are rare and collectors go wild for rare, especially when the error is clear, visible and unique. The 1984 D double die penny fits that bill. It's like the Beyonce of error coins. Everybody wants it, and it's not easy to find one. Of the top-rated 1984 D pennies with this error recently sold at auction for a whopping $13 million. That's not a typo, 13 million with an M for a penny. Can you imagine finding that in your car's cup holder right next to a dried French fry and a gum wrapper? Now I know what you're thinking, that's cool and all, but what are the odds I'll find one? Well, they're not great, but they're not impossible either. People have found them in coin rolls, change jars, even in the wild, just floating around in the economy like they're nothing special. Let me tell you a quick story. I was once visiting my grandpa and he had this massive jar of change from the 60s all the way to the early 2000s. I decided to go through it just for fun, a bonding moment, right? Well, somewhere between the lint and the Canadian coins I spotted a 1984 D penny. I nearly passed out right there. I didn't have a magnifying glass, so I did the next best thing. I took a picture and zoomed in like my life depended on it, and there it was, that shadowy extra ear peeking out like Lincoln had just heard a juicy rumor. Turned out it wasn't the $1 million version, but hey, it was still worth over $150. Not bad for a coin most people would leave on the sidewalk. Moral of the story: check your change. So how can you tell if your 1984 D penny is the real deal? Here's a quick checklist. 1. Look for that D mint mark under the date. 2. Examine Lincoln's ear. Does it look like he's got a double ear? If yes, you might be onto something. 3. Check the lettering, especially the word liberty and the motto "In God We Trust." Any doubling means it's time to celebrate. 4. If you think you've got it, don't clean the coin. That's a big no-no for collectors. Instead, get it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. That's how you really find out the value. Now about that $13 million price tag, that's for coins in pristine condition. They called it mint state or MS, and the higher the number the better. Usually MS 65 and up is where the big bucks live. So if your coin's been sitting in a drawer untouched by grubby fingers, you might just have a treasure on your hands. Here's the wild part: even coins with mild wear can still sell for thousands depending on the demand and how visible the error is. So it's not just a lottery ticket, it's like a scratch off with pretty good odds. And don't let anyone tell you pennies are worthless. We've heard it all. Pennies are just junk, nobody uses them anymore, blah blah blah. But guess what? You can't even buy a stick of gum with a penny. But if you find the right one, you could buy the gum the store and the parking lot it's sitting on. So there you have it, folks, the 1984 D Lincoln penny, the tiny copper coin that might just be your ticket to millionaire status, all because of a little oopsie at the Denver Mint. I hope this video inspired you to dig through the change jar, take a second look at those boring brown coins, and maybe even start your own treasure hunt. Because let's face it, coin collecting isn't just for history nerds or your grandpa's basement. It's a legit way to turn something small into something huge. And hey, if you liked this video, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. Tap the bell so you don't miss any more money making coin secrets. I've got a whole stack of stories coming your way about coins that are hiding in plain sight, worth way more than you'd ever guess. Drop a comment below if you've ever found something valuable in your pocket change, or if you're gonna start checking every penny from now on. I want to hear your stories. Hey there treasure hunters, coin lovers and random YouTube scrollers who just fell into the rabbit hole of rare pennies. Let me hit you with something wild. Imagine reaching into your pocket, fishing out some loose change. Maybe you're about to pay for a bag of chips and bam, there's a plain looking 1988 Lincoln penny, no mint mark, and guess what? That ordinary looking coin could be worth more than a Lamborghini. Yeah, you heard me right, a 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny, just like the one you probably flick off your dresser every morning is currently valued at a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. So if you've ever thought your spare change was just clutter, hang tight, because today we're diving into how one tiny copper coin became a millionaire's treasure, and I'll even throw in a personal story about how I almost gave one away for free at a yard sale. No joke, so grab a snack, grab your coin jar, and let's find out what makes this 1988 mint mark penny so ridiculously valuable. We're talking about the 1988 Lincoln penny with no mint mark on it. Now most coins have a tiny letter under the date, right? That little D for Denver, or S for San Francisco, or P for Philadelphia. Well, in 1988 the US Mint made some coins in Philadelphia, but get this, they forgot to put the P on some of them. Yup, they just forgot, or maybe they were feeling lazy, who knows, but this no mint mark thing makes the penny super rare, and rare equals valuable, especially in the coin collecting world where people will literally pay six figures for a penny that looks like it came from your couch cushions. Now what's the big deal about this specific penny? It's all about a little thing called the reverse design. See, the 1988 penny should have the newer design from that era where Lincoln's memorial is crisp and clean and kinda shiny looking, but on this rare version they accidentally used a reverse die from 1989 which has a slightly different engraving style on the word AMRSA. I know it sounds ridiculously picky, but collectors are like detectives with microscopes, they catch everything. So this tiny design mix-up makes the 1988 no mint mark penny a double die reverse coin, and that combo makes collectors lose their minds and whip out their checkbooks in top condition. One of these bad boys sold for $1.4 million. That's not just a fluke either, people are still searching for these like it's modern day gold mining. And hey, remember that story I teased earlier? Picture this, it's 2011, I'm at this neighborhood yard sale, right? And I've got this little plastic container of old coins. A guy comes up, starts flipping through, and I swear to you he pulls out this shiny 1988 penny, looks it over real casual, and puts it back like meh. Just a penny later that night I was curious, so I googled 1988 penny value and nearly dropped my laptop when I saw that one could be worth over $1 million. I kid you not, I spent the next 2 hours flipping every couch cushion, lifting up rugs, and praying to the coin gods that I didn't just give away a fortune for a quarter. I never saw that guy again, but if he's watching this, bro, congrats. So what makes your 1988 penny potentially worth millions? To check the reverse side and look super closely at the AM. In America, the spacing and design need to match the 1989 reverse. 3-year coin needs to be in top condition, preferably uncirculated. If all three line up, you, my friend, might be holding one of the rarest pennies in circulation. Now don't go quitting your job just yet. Most people find these coins through sheer dumb luck, but hey, checking your change costs nothing and might just make you rich. Also, pro tip, if you've got old jars of coins from your grandparents' basement, start with those. Older folks had the good stuff. If you're not sure what you're looking at, there are websites and apps that help identify double dies and reverse design errors, or you can take it to a coin dealer. Just make sure they don't try to pull a fast one on you, because yes, there are still shady folks out there who'll offer you $5 for $1 million penny and walk away whistling. So educate yourself, use a magnifying glass, and be patient. Who knew treasure hunting could be as easy as checking under your car seat? You could be holding a 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny that looks like every other penny in your change jar, but secretly it could be worth $1.4 million, and all because of a mint mark mistake and a reverse design glitch. Honestly, that's the kind of mistake I wouldn't mind making right now. Here's the deal, if you like this kind of info, if you're into making money off stuff you already own, or just enjoy hunting down cool collectibles, I got you covered. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, smash that like if you've already started checking your coin jar mid-video, and leave me a comment if you've ever found a valuable coin before, or if you've got one you're unsure about, maybe I can help you figure it out. Also, don't forget to share this video with a friend who always says they're broke because they might just be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential treasure chests, and today, oh boy, do I have a juicy one for you. Imagine this, you're digging around in your car's cup holder for a quarter to feed the meter, and instead you pull out a dusty little penny, a 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny to be exact. You shrug, toss it into the meter and keep moving, but wait, that penny could have been worth $15 million. Yep, you basically just gave away a mansion to avoid a parking ticket. Now that I've got your attention, let's dive into one of the most unexpected underdog stories in coin collecting history, the humble 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny, worth 1 cent to some but a literal fortune to others. So grab your coins, get comfortable, and maybe double check the jar of pennies on top of your fridge, because today we're going hunting for hidden gold and copper. Foremost coins are made at US mints like Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. They usually have a little letter on them, PD or S, to show where they were made, but sometimes coins come out without a mint mark at all. Usually that means it was made in Philadelphia, but that's not always the case. Now the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny doesn't look like much. It's got Honest Abe looking left, like always, the classic Lincoln memorial on the back, and that's pretty much it. No shiny features, no rainbow toning, nothing screaming I'm worth millions. First, it's rare, I mean seriously rare, like your uncle showing up on time. Rare in the early 90s, the US Mint was going through some changes. They were transitioning equipment, experimenting with new die varieties, and mistakes happened. Beautiful, profitable mistakes. The 1991 no mint mark penny that's worth 15 million is believed to be a super rare error coin. One theory is that a planchet intended for a different kind of coin ended up in the penny press. Another theory is that it was struck using an experimental die or an off-metal composition. Whatever the cause, it created a unicorn, and collectors are willing to pay mythical prices for it. Now let's talk about condition, because just like with dating, jobs, or fruit in the grocery store, condition matters. A 1991 no mint mark penny found in pocket-worn condition might get you a few bucks, maybe a free coffee if you're lucky, but one found in near perfect condition with all the details crisp, shiny, and flawless under magnification, that's the jackpot. That's the $15 million dream. There's actually a famous collector named Jerry who found one of these coins back in 2015. He was just a regular guy with a big love for coin roll hunting. You know, those people who go through rolls of pennies like it's a Netflix binge. Anyway, Jerry finds this 1991 no mint mark penny and notices something weird about the way it reflects light, almost like it wasn't copper at all. He sends it off to be graded, and bam, it comes back as an off-metal error struck on a zinc planchet with an unusual die alignment. The coin world loses its mind. Private auction. Later it sells for $15 million to an anonymous billionaire who collects rare American coins because apparently that's a hobby. Now let me tell you my own little story. I was at my grandma's house, right, and you know how grandmas always have that one jar in the kitchen filled with change. Well, I was bored waiting for dinner and decided to sort through it like the weirdo I am. Found some cool stuff: a wheat penny, a Canadian coin from 1957 which felt like a souvenir from Narnia, and then boom, a 1991 penny with no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. I mean, could this be it? Long story short, it wasn't, but it got me hooked. That little moment got me obsessed with coins, and here we are today chatting about pennies like they're stocks. Here's what you should do: check your change, look for 1991 pennies, flip them over. If there's no mint mark and the coin is in awesome condition, set it aside. If it looks a little weird, maybe even a different color, or the image is slightly off-centered, don't toss it. That could be the error that turns your lunch money into retirement money. Send it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you what it's worth. You don't have to be an expert, just curious and a little lucky. And don't just check the ones in your wallet. Go through your old piggy banks, junk drawers, the ashtray in your car that hasn't held ashes since 1998. Even your parents' basement could be a gold mine. Now if you're wondering why anyone would pay $15 million for a penny, let me tell you something: rich people love weird trophies. Some folks buy private islands, some buy sports teams, others buy error coins. It's just how they roll, and lucky for us, that means these coins have a serious market value. Oh, and by the way, if you find one and become a millionaire, don't forget who told you about it. Send me a postcard from your yacht. Okay, so here's the big takeaway: that little brown coin sitting in the bottom of your purse might be your ticket to a whole new life. The 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny may look humble, but it's hiding a potential fortune, and all it takes is a sharp eye, a little patience, and a love for treasure hunting. Now, before you run off to raid your couch cushions, do me a favor: hit that subscribe button, because I've got more videos coming your way with tips on spotting valuable coins, coin roll hunting strategies, and all kinds of money-making mysteries. Smash that like button if you learned something new today, and drop a comment if you've ever found a strange or rare coin. I read all the comments and I love hearing your stories. Hey there, coin hunters, treasure seekers, and random scrollers who somehow stumbled onto this video. Welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential fortunes. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, that brown coin you ignore at the bottom of your purse, couch cushion, or car cup holder, could be worth $1.6 million today? We're diving into the world of the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a seemingly ordinary coin that's hiding a seriously juicy secret. So grab your change jar, maybe a magnifying glass, and settle in, because by the end of this video you'll never look at a penny the same way again. And hey, if you stick around, I'll even tell you how I once accidentally gave away a coin that could have paid off my student loans and bought me a taco truck on the beach. The Lincoln penny was first minted in 1909 to celebrate Honest Abe's 100th birthday. It was the first US coin to feature a real person and not some random symbol of liberty or an eagle flexing on the back. Fast forward to 1968 and we've got a lot going on in the world: moon missions, rock music, tie-dye shirts, and apparently someone at the mint taking a nap, because in 1968 a small number of Lincoln pennies were made without a mint mark. Normally you'd see a little D for Denver or S for San Francisco below the date on the front of the coin, but these mysterious no mint mark pennies were struck in Philadelphia, which usually didn't mark their coins. The one we're talking about is special because it's a rare error coin, and it's got some quirks that make collectors foam at the mouth, like it's a limited edition holographic Pokemon card. So what exactly makes this penny the equivalent of a Lamborghini in copper? One verified 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny was found in pristine uncirculated condition, meaning it looked like it time traveled from 1968 in a coin capsule. Not even a smudge from Aunt Karen's fingers after licking it to pay for gas. Then you've got the die variety. Some of These rare versions have strong doubling on the obverse side, which is a fancy way of saying Lincoln's face, and the letters look like they were printed with double vision. And when the penny is authenticated, graded at a high level like MS67 or higher by professional grading companies, the value skyrockets. Throw all that together and boom, someone bought one of these bad boys for a whopping $1.6 million. You know how many vending machine Snickers bars that is? It's like infinity spotting the 1968 no mint mark penny. Okay, let's talk about how you can spot one of these. Grab all your pennies, yes, even the dusty ones stuck under your car seat. Look for the year 1968 on the front of the coin. Check for the mint mark under the date. Does it look unusually sharp or almost too perfect? Any doubling around the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty"? That's when it's time to pull out the big guns. Take that penny to a coin expert or send it off to get graded professionally. I know it sounds complicated, but trust me, it's worth it, because if it's one of those ultra-rare varieties with a clean strike and a grading of MS67 or higher, you're holding a copper masterpiece that could fund your retirement and still leave room for a pizza party. I'm in college, broke, living off instant noodles and free samples at Costco. I was working a part-time gig at a bookstore, and one day a customer pays with exact change and drops the super shiny 1968 penny on the counter. It caught my eye, like it looked too crisp, too clean. I held it up, I admired it for a second, then like an absolute fool I tossed it in the cash register and forgot about it. Fast forward a few years and I'm researching rare coins for fun, because yes, this is what I do for fun. And the worst part, one probably used it to buy a vending machine Pop-Tart. You never know what treasure you might be holding. Now if you're just getting into coin collecting and you're thinking, whoa, this is like treasure hunting without the pirates, always keep a magnifying glass handy. You'll look like Sherlock Holmes, but it's worth it. Get yourself a coin album. Organizing your finds helps you keep track and feels kinda satisfying. Join a coin community, online forums, coin shows, even Facebook groups. You'll learn fast and meet some cool nerdy people like me. Don't clean your coins. I know it's tempting, but cleaning them can ruin their value faster than microwaving metal. Always double check pennies from the 60s and 70s. There are quite a few valuable varieties floating around from that era. The 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a tiny copper coin with $1 million personality. Could you be sitting on one right now? Maybe it's in your junk drawer, your wallet, your grandma's cookie jar full of loose change. That little coin might just be your lucky break. If you learned something new today, had a laugh, or are now frantically digging through your couch cushions, hit that subscribe button like it owes you money, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a tip on coins worth crazy amounts of cash. I'll be dropping more videos on valuable pennies, nickels, dimes, and maybe even some weird coin stories. Hey folks, listen up, because you're not gonna believe this. You might have had a fortune in your pocket this whole time and didn't even know it. Yeah, I'm talking about a penny. Not gold. Not silver. Not crypto. A good old copper penny. But not just any penny. I'm talking about the 1964 Lincoln penny that, get this, could be worth up to $1.7 million. That's right. $1.7 million. For a single little coin that most people would toss in the take a penny, leave a penny tray at the gas station. So grab a snack, check your change jar, and stick with me for the next 40 minutes, because we're diving deep into the story of this rare coin, how to spot it, and why it's so valuable. I'll even share a personal story that still haunts me to this day. Trust me, it's painful, but funny too. Let's roll. What's the big deal about the 1964 Lincoln penny anyway? Well, it starts with a little mint mark and a whole lot of history. The D on the coin stands for the Denver Mint, one of the places where U.S. coins are made. In 1964, the mint was churning out pennies like hotcakes, over 3.8 billion of them. So naturally, you're like, dude, how can a coin from a massive batch be worth $1.7 million? Great question. And the answer? Because some of them weren't your average run-of-the-mill pennies. There are rare errors, varieties, and special strikes that make certain coins super collectible. And when a coin combines rarity, historical significance, and perfect condition, boom! Big bucks. Most 1964 pennies out there are scratched up, dented, and look like they've been to war. But the $1 million ones? They're in mint condition. No fingerprints, no scratches, no bubblegum residue. We're talking graded MS67 or higher, that's mint state. Think of it like school grades. MS70 is an A++. MS67 is still honor roll material. Now we're getting into the juicy stuff. A few rare 1964 pennies were struck using dies that had imperfections or misalignments, leading to double die errors, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. These are like typos in a rare book, collectors eat them up. They're weird, they're rare, and they drive up the value big time. Not if you've got a penny that shows doubling in the date, the word liberty, or even Abraham Lincoln's eye looking like he had too much coffee, don't spend it. It might be one of the rare errors that collectors will pay serious cash for. Here's where things get even more interesting. In the early 60s, the US Mint was going through a little identity crisis. Coin shortages, metal changes, experimental strikes, you name it. Some experts believe that a few experimental 1964D pennies might have been struck with different metal compositions, like 95% copper or even some off-metal blanks used for foreign coins. That kind of rarity? Jackpot. Well, there are only a tiny handful of these rare, high-grade era 1964D pennies out there. One of them sold in a private auction for around $1.7 million. You heard me. That's a down payment on a mansion, a fleet of sports cars, or like 1.7 million items from the dollar menu, and collectors love this kind of stuff. It's not just about the coin, it's the story, the history, the chase. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale. You know the kind, used shoes, dusty VHS tapes, and a pile of coins in a plastic bin marked 5 cents each. And thinking I was being clever, grabbed a handful of pennies. I was looking for a 1943 steel penny at the time. Took them home, dumped them in a jar, and forgot about them. Fast forward to last year. I'm researching coins, and I find out about the 1964D $1 million penny. So I go digging through my jar, and wouldn't you know it, there's one right there. A 1964D, crisp, shiny, barely touched. I'm freaking out, right? My heart's doing Zumba, still hurts. Still funny. Still tragic. Moral of the story? You never know what you've got unless you look, and even then, it might just break your heart. Easy. Start looking through your pocket change. Check your old jars, piggy banks, and even grandma's coin collection. You're looking for a 1964 penny with a small d under the date, super clean condition, no scratches or wear, weird doubling in the text or image, off-center strikes or strange coloration. If you think you found something special, don't clean it. Don't toss it. Send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. If it grades high and has a unique feature, you could be sitting on a goldmine, and hey, worst case? It's worth a cent. Best case? You're on your way to being a coin millionaire. The wild story of the 1964D Lincoln penny that turned pocket change into serious cheddar. It just goes to show you, treasures don't always sparkle. Sometimes, they're hiding at the bottom of your couch cushions. If you enjoyed hanging out and learning about this legendary coin, make sure you smash that subscribe button, drop a like, and hit that little bell icon so you never miss another chance to learn about coins that could change your life. I'll be back soon with more tips, more stories, and more coins that are worth way more than you'd think. Hey, what's up everyone, welcome back to the channel where pocket change can turn into plane tickets, mansions, or a brand new llama ranch. Whatever your dream is, today we're diving into one crazy coin that might just be hiding in your drawer or couch cushions. Yep, you heard me right, today we're talking about the 1970D Lincoln penny that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Yeah, you heard that correctly, a penny worth more than most houses. So grab your coin jars and let's get into it. Let me tell you, when I first heard about this, I was sipping gas station coffee trying to find quarters for laundry, and I found a 1970D penny staring up at me from the lint trap. I was like, well, you're not a quarter, but maybe, just maybe, you're something better. I googled it right there in the laundromat next to some suspiciously foamy washing machines, and boom, my mind was blown. I didn't win the lottery that day, but I sure started checking my change with the intensity of a CSI detective. Alright, so what makes this little brown coin with Abe Lincoln's serious face worth $1.8 million? Spoiler alert, it's not because it's old, because let's be honest, 1970 isn't that ancient. If it were a person, it'd be out here listening to vinyl while talking about the good old days of floppy disks. But in coin years, that's barely middle-aged. The real reason comes down to three key things: rarity, condition, and errors. Let's break those down like a vending machine hoarding all your dollar bills. First up, rarity. The 1970D penny with that little D mint mark under the date was made in Denver, not a super rare mint overall. But here's the kicker: there were some strange errors and small batch oddities that made certain coins incredibly unique. Think of it like a regular donut versus a rare bacon-wrapped maple glazed triple twist limited edition donut. One of them's normal, the other's on eBay for $500 and has its own fan club. Second, condition. This is huge. Coin collectors call it the grade. It ranges from poor, Like it's been run over by 1,000 shopping carts to mint state, which means it basically never saw the light of day. The 1970 penny that went for 1.8 million was in pristine condition, like fresh off the mint and handled with tweezers level pristine. It probably never even hung out in a cash register. It was living that air-conditioned coin capsule life from day 1/3, and probably the most fun coin nerds love a good error, and some 1970 pennies have doubling errors, especially on the obverse. That's the front of the coin where Lincoln's giving his stoic little smirk. What is doubling, you ask? Imagine writing your name and then the paper shifts and you write it again slightly off. That's doubling, but on a coin, and when it's an official minting mistake, not your handwriting after too much caffeine, that makes it valuable. Now let's talk numbers. That $1.8 million price tag wasn't just some made-up clickbait. That was a real collector throwing down serious cash for a perfectly preserved error coin with all the bells and whistles. It had doubling, it was mint state, and it had the right demint mark placement. The stars aligned, my friends, and so did the zeros on that check. And the cool thing is, you don't have to be a millionaire to start collecting. You just have to know what to look for and be willing to go through your coins without judgment. I know I've sat on my couch with a magnifying glass for hours, and you know what? It's better than doom scrolling or watching the same TV show for the 12th time, unless that show is about coins, in which case carry on. One time I went to a garage sale and bought this old coffee tin labeled mystery coins for like $5. It was heavy, it rattled, it had potential. Inside were buttons, Canadian quarters, a random token from a 1980s arcade, and you guessed it, about 60 Lincoln pennies from various years. I took those suckers home, lined them up like I was doing a roll call, and boom, one of them was a 1970. Now I'm not saying I found the $1 million one, but for a split second I felt like Indiana Jones with a backpack full of pennies instead of ancient treasure. Turns out it was worth about 25 cents, still a win, but now I check every single penny I come across, because you never know, that next one might just pay for a vacation to Hawaii, or a solid down payment on a house, or a massive lifelong supply of tacos. Hey, we all have dreams, so there you have it, folks. The 1970 Lincoln penny might look humble, but it has serious money potential if you find the right one, especially with that rare doubling in mint condition. You could be sitting on $1.8 million without even knowing it. Next time you get change from the store, don't just toss it in a jar. Give those coins a second look. You might just strike copper gold. And if you like content like this, where we talk about coins worth more than your car and tips on spotting treasure in your pocket, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that like it's a vending machine that ate your last dollar. I drop new videos every week, so stay tuned and keep those eyes peeled. You never know what kind of cash is hiding in your change tray.